And sitting in for Dr. Joel Wallach today, we've got Dr. Peter Glidden. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Doug. Happy day before tax day to you, my friend. An estimated 46 million adults in the United States have some form of arthritis, ladies and gentlemen. 1 in 5, that's 21% of adults in the United States, have reported having doctor-diagnosed arthritis. By 2030, the estimate is 67 million Americans aged 18 or older. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Aged 18 or older are projected to have arthritis, with 4.5 million on track to get knee replacement surgery. 2/3 of the people that currently have arthritis are under the age of 65. That's an eye-opener. And this is old data. In 2003, arthritis and rheumatic conditions profited the medical industry $128 billion. Arthritis is the second most frequently reported chronic health condition in the United States, and hospitals profit approximately $3,000 per knee for knee replacement surgery. Now, from the proper perspective, everything makes sense. Most people, when they come to the realization, the truth of the matter, that their MD is not trained to know what causes arthritis, nor are they trained at being able to cure the arthritic condition. Your medical doctor may be the nicest human being God ever created, but they are not trained, they are not schooled, they are not educated into what causes chronic disease like arthritis, and they are not trained how to cure it. Because to the MD, they do not believe that a cure is possible. They believe that a cure is a fiction. A cure is some type of Pollyanna idea started by some liberal in Birkenstocks in the 60s, and it's just a ridiculous notion. The MD is trained to believe that the human body is a random amalgamation of biochemicals that started by some evolutionary fiat, some accidental juxtaposition of just the right biochemicals at just the right time, stimulated by a bolt of electricity by a passing thundercloud in some Jurassic Park antediluvian swamp millions of years ago. And that's how life started. And then it evolved over time into the human body. There is no such thing as consciousness. Consciousness is a function of biochemistry. Your consciousness ends when the body ends. Life is a one-way ticket. Since nobody has ever dissected the soul out of a body, it doesn't exist. Since nobody's ever objectified the soul with any diagnostic discovery, it does not exist. Life is a one-term proposition. Your body is a random assortment of biochemicals. It's a bag of biochemicals which is destined to fail. And when something does ultimately fail in the body, it's not the MD's job to get to the root cause of why. It's the MD's job to march in and control and manipulate the biochemistry of your body with man-made synthetic drugs. Now, I have to say this every time, otherwise people just think we're anti-MDs or anti-drugs. We're not. I'm not. What I am against is ineffective, outdated, old-fashioned, for-profit, ridiculous, expensive, and dangerous treatments that are completely out of step with what it means to be a human being. Your medical doctor doesn't even know how to cure heartburn. And yet, we've given them nearly $1 trillion, $600 billion, to come up with a cure for cancer. And guess what? They don't know how to cure cancer. We've lost the war on cancer that Richard Nixon started after a $600 billion ticket. Not because cancer is a tricky or a difficult or a complicated thing to get on the other side of, but because we've given the money to the wrong profession. You wouldn't expect a chiropractor to be able to know how to treat, how to do open heart surgery, right? If you gave the chiropractic profession millions of dollars to perfect surgery techniques, well, that's the wrong dog for the hunt. That's the wrong profession. Your medical doctor, again, may be the nicest human being God ever created, but they are not trained in medicine. Nobody is. They're trained in allopathic medicine. I'm trained in naturopathic medicine. There's chiropractic, osteopathic, homeopathic, Ayurvedic, acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, Tibetan medicine, etc., etc. Your MD is trained in allopathic MD-directed medicine, and allopathic medicine argues the human body does not have the ability to fix itself, that once you're sick, you're screwed, and your only option is to let the doctor march in with symptom-suppressive drugs, the intention of which is to manage the problem until it gets so bad that they go in and they cut it out. So, they give you a fake knee. And then the bone around the prosthesis starts to get funky because you didn't have enough medical nutrition in there to keep the bone healthy in the first place. And so the knee fails, and then they give you another one, and then that one fails, and then they give you another one, and then the other knee goes, and so they give you another fake knee, and so forth and so on, until death do us part. This is insanity on steroids, ladies and gentlemen. Because if there's one thing that I can guarantee you can get a leg up on, pun intended, with medical nutrition, it's arthritis. Because of all of the things that I've seen people present with, in 25 years of clinical experience as a licensed, regulated naturopathic physician, the arthritic condition is one of the easiest things to get on the other side of. It is extremely easy to give your body the nutrition that it needs to support and promote its structure and function. Now, in the context of a private practice, in a state in which I'm licensed, I treat arthritis. But in the context of longevity, in the context of this radio program, Dr. Wallach and I and any of the other guests don't treat disease. We do not. What do? We recommend protocols which support your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. You have no idea of the ability that your body has to fix itself. Call us and let us show you the light of medical nutrition.
And we are back on Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host today, Dr. Peter Glidden, filling in for Dr. Wallach. Welcome back.
Thanks a lot, Doug. I've had a somewhat colorful life between high school and pre-med. Traveled all around the country, and I did a lot of different jobs. Worked on a commercial fishing boat once, and I'll never forget. I woke up one morning like 2 a.m. to start the night shift, and my bunkmate, I forget what his name was, he rolled out of bed real slowly, and he looked up at me, and he said, Pete, he said, my old friend Arthur's back. I said, Arthur? He said, yeah, arthritis. He's back, and it hurts.
Yeah, I thought we'd continue talking about arthritis in this segment, as I've got a news story from Fox that's headlined, Natural Ways to Relieve Arthritis Pain. Yeah, this is from Dr. Manny Alvarez, who is their senior medical advisor, and he poses a question from a gentleman by the name of Marvin. He says, Dr. Manny, how I suffer with arthritis and my symptoms get worse during the winter. What can I do to manage the stiffness besides take medication? And Manny goes on to say, arthritis sufferers use what's known complementary or alternative practices to manage their symptoms for many reasons. Conventional treatment didn't get them the relief they wanted, or they're concerned about the side effects from drug therapy, and they may feel that these alternative therapies are safer because they're natural. And he says, according to the National Institute of Arthritis and Musculoskeletal and Skin Diseases, there are they say that you should exercise. They say there's three types of exercise: range of motion exercises such as dancing to maintain normal joint movement and relieve stiffness and increase flexibility. Then strengthening exercises like weight training to increase muscle strength, and aerobic or endurance exercises such as bicycling to improve cardiovascular fitness, control weight, and improve overall function. They say there's about 100 known types of arthritis, and they say no single diet would help everyone. According to the Arthritis Foundation, they established the following guidelines: eat a variety of foods, and they say avoid those that interact with your medicines. And they all go on to say use fat and cholesterol in moderation. So there's, as I said to you off the air before we got started here, they got part of it right, but as usual, they get part of it wrong too. And they say plenty of vegetables, fruits, and whole grain products. Well, that's not going to do you much good if you've got a gluten intolerance, which about a third of Americans do have. And they say use sugar and salt in moderation. Of course, the sugar part is true, but you do need salt in order to make hydrochloric acid to be able to get use of your nutrients. And they go on to say, drink alcohol in moderation, take daily requirements of vitamins and minerals, including calcium. And they say, according to the American College of Rheumatology, there's been some evidence that ginger and willow bark extract may relieve pain. Well, isn't it willow bark that they make aspirin from? So that would make sense.
Well, Dr. Alvarez is an idiot. And this is just another example of the hubris of the MD profession, right? First of all, it's not complementary in alternative medicine. That's like saying the only type of dog is a Great Dane, and every other type of a dog is a complementary or alternative dog to the Great Dane. It's nonsense. There isn't alternative medicine. There are different types of medicine, and they're good for different things. MD-directed medicine is really good for surgery when it's indicated, trauma care, and a handful of infectious diseases, period. But the MDs, by virtue of their education, walk away from, with their medical license, believing that if they weren't taught it in medical school, it's just not valid, and that theirs is the standard to which all other medicines compare, and it's nonsense. Dr. Alvarez is talking outside of his wheelhouse. He's talking outside of his comfort zone, and quite frankly, he should have his medical license revoked because of it. We wouldn't, listen to anything that a chiropractor had to say to us about the best surgical technique for open heart surgery. We would think that that guy was a crackpot. But when the MDs talk to us about vitamins, when the MDs talk to us about alternative therapeutics, when the MDs talk to us about stuff that they have no training, no clinical experience with, we bow down to them, genuflect at their altar like knuckleheads. And this is a testament to the socialization that's happened here all across the world. We have been brainwashed by Marcus Welby, by Grey's Anatomy and George Clooney, by Hawkeye Pierce, to believe that the MD knows what's best for us, but they do not. They only know what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in, as it turns out, is the leading cause of death in the United States. For goodness sake, ladies and gentlemen, fire your medical doctor now and call us instead the rational voice of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medicine. Thanks a lot, Doug. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're talking about here on the radio, if you like what Dr. Wallach and I and all the other guest hosts and Mr. Winfrey talk about every day, then you're going to love the information available on my website. Check it out, fireyourmdnow.com or drglidden.com. Click on the Become an Insider tab and get informed about simple things that you can do right now to increase your knowledge base so that you can know what you're doing to successfully support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. The website again, fireyourmdnow.com. Let's get right to the phones, Doug. Who's first?
All right, let's head to Tacoma, Washington, and Pastor Rick, you're on with Dr. Glidden.
Hello, Pastor. Thanks for calling. How can I help?
Thank you, Dr. Glidden, first-time caller from Tacoma, Washington. My wife and I have done many mission trips through the years as pastors. Over the last, about 3 years ago, she started showing symptoms of neuropathy, macular degeneration. And then a year and a half ago, she started to put on fluid on her body. We didn't know at that time it was a kidney issue. So in the summer of 2012, by September, she had put on 100 pounds of fluid. By that point, we finally went into our local hospital to the ER because it was now hard to breathe. They then sent her in to do a CAT scan right away in the ER. They laid her down to do the CAT scan, and the fluid rushed to her lungs, and she went into cardiac arrest, and she was 20 minutes trying to be revived. A week later, they did a drug-induced. She went into cardiac arrest again, spent 6 weeks here in the local hospital, also spent a week up at the University Medical Center in Seattle, and they diagnosed her with end-stage kidney disease after doing a biopsy. They said her kidneys and her maculas look the same. They're all discarring. They said it looks like long-term acute diabetic damage, but all the tests that they've done show that she's never had diabetes, and they just kind of crossed their arms, can't figure out what the deal is. And so now she has been, over the last year, since February of 2013, she has been on home hemodialysis. We do it at home. I dialyze her 5 days a week here at the house. She still has issues with nerve damage in her legs and arms, and she's legally blind now. And we just read the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Again, no doctor can tell us what the issues are. So that's when we decided, hey, we need to call and talk with you. She was, before she went into the hospital, we went to a specialist who deals with parasites and tapeworms, and she was diagnosed with Leishmania parasite and tapeworms. They put her on a 14-day cleanse. We saw the activity, all that. We thought, great, now the fluid will start coming off, but the fluid never did. We actually believe that 6 years ago in West Africa, she picked up this Leishmania, or Leishmaniasis tapeworm, parasite, that has done the damage, and it started showing up about 2.5 years ago, the damage in the neuropathy, macular degeneration, and now end-stage kidney disease.
Well, I'd have to look up whether leishmaniasis is related specifically to the genesis of these illnesses. We see people with these illnesses all the time who are not infected by this parasite, so I think it's a coincidental thing. I don't think it's a cause and effect thing. I'm very glad that you found us, and I have a lot to tell you about this, so stick around. We're up against a hard break here, and I'll come right back and pot you up first when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Welcome back.
Thanks a lot, Doug. Pastor Rick, so here's the deal. Over the break, I looked up leishmaniasis to refresh my memory, and I'm correct. I doubt very much that your wife's conditions were caused by this parasitic infection. It was coincidental to the thing. Now, thank God for Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach from 1970 to 1982 was in charge of $25 million of federally funded research. Wallach himself did over 26,000 autopsies and 10 million blood chemistries. And when you do that much pragmatic research, you start to see patterns. And one of the things that Dr. Wallach saw when it came to kidney disease was most of the time the structures of the kidney, the nephrons themselves, are intact. The problem becomes the blood flow in and around the kidney becomes compromised. The arteries get clogged, the blood vessels get clogged the same way that they do to the heart. It's called peripheral arterial disease, and when the blood flow to the kidney gets messed up, well, the whole body gets messed up, and the game is afoot. Macular degeneration, from our point of view, is a combination of two things. It's chronic nutrient deficiencies to the fire department of your body. Your body has a police department, which is the immune system, and a fire department, the intention of which is to put out the fires of inflammation, which are just a normal part of life. It's a normal part of life for the body to inhale and ingest substances which are pro-inflammatory. And then the fire department of the body rallies and puts out the fires of inflammation. Well, that's a nutrient-dependent phenomenon, and when the body runs out of the nutrients it needs to put the fires out, the fires continue to burn, and then your eyes burn out, or your kidney burns out, or something burns out, and therein lies the difference between our rational approach towards the neopathogenesis of disease and the allopathic reductionistic approach to the neopathogenesis of disease. The MDs are clueless as to what causes this. They think you have a bad gene, or they'll blame it on a parasite, or they'll blame it on the moon in Aries, or whatever. Well, the MD would never do that. But my point is that from our point of view, macular degeneration is caused by oxidative damage. It's the same stuff that makes wine turn into vinegar and makes iron turn to rust. It's oxidative damage to the eye itself, in concert with complete lack of fire department nutrients, so the body, doesn't have the stuff it needs to deal with it. Now, if you go to yteamtools.net, I think, yteamtools or .org or .com, I can't remember, like yellow, yteamtools, you can download an audio CD that Dr. Wallach recorded called Seeing is Believing, or if you can't download it, you can order it. And that's a testimony of a medical doctor eye specialist, an MD eye specialist, who took Dr. Wallach's advice and started applying Dr. Wallach's medical nutrition strategies with his patients who were legally blind, all of which recovered their sight. So often with macular degeneration, if we intervene before the point of no return, Give the fire department of the body the stuff it needs to rally, and stop eating food that's gumming up the works, which is a complicated way of saying if we simply support and promote the body's ability to have healthy eyes, and we do it quick enough, then the vision can come back. Maybe 10%, maybe 20%, maybe 80%, who knows? I don't know where the point of no return is. Neither does her eye specialist. So really, this is like never fail fudge. With medical nutrition, you can't ever fail. So I'm going to recommend here in a second medical nutrition, the intention of which is to support and promote her body's ability to have healthy kidneys and healthy vision. Now, the first thing she needs to do is to stop consuming food that's causing inflammation. There are 10 foods that we've discovered that do this. You can download that list for free on my website, fireyourmdnow.com. Make sure you put the now in there. Scroll down the page until you see the link for the 10 bad foods. Download that list. She has to stop eating every single one of those foods. So do you, so do I, so does everybody in the world. It's easy. Download the list, stick around. I'll dial in the treatment program when we come back. Thanks a lot. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you, Pastor, because, I have an affinity for pastors, and also I have an affinity for the Pacific Northwest. I lived there for 12 years. My son is in the Seattle Shakespeare Company, by the way. So in any event, I need to know your wife's current body weight.
Current body weight this morning was 75 kilos, so that's about 165?
Yeah, and how much of that do you think is water?
170.
How much of that body weight do you assume is water weight, or don't you know?
Maybe 2 to 3.
Okay. All right. So it's important. The reason that I ask is, and this is one of the things I love about Dr. Wallach so much. I've been involved with naturopathic medicine for a quarter of a century, 25 years. And I got great results before I met Dr. Wallach. Since I've been working with Dr. Wallach, the things I've seen people recover from, I didn't know that could happen. Dr. Wallach's therapeutics eclipse in effectiveness most of the things that I was trained in and that I've seen in my own practice. One of the reasons for Dr. Wallach's genius is that he doses his nutritional supplements based on a person's body weight, which only makes sense. I mean, that's what they do with drugs. The bigger you are, the more of a dose you need. Well, so it's important that we kind of get a bead on that so we know what ballpark we're in when we're helping people to support and promote their body's ability to fix itself with medical nutrition, because the effectiveness of the program is in direct proportion to the dose. So at 150 pounds with this much trouble, I would start her with a 200-pound dose, and my recommendation every month for the first 3 months would be the following. Every month, I would purchase 2 anti-aging healthy start packs. 2 anti-aging healthy start packs. And you want the original formula, not the 2.0. 2 anti-aging healthy start packs. In addition to that, I would get 4 Ultimate Selenium. S-E-L like Larry, E-N like Nancy, I-U-M. 4 Ultimate Selenium. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules. And 4 bottles of something called Z Radical. That's Z like zebra or radical. 4 Z Radical, 4 Selenium, 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Now, when you start to give her these nutritional supplements, and how did you hear about this show, by the way? How did you hear about us?
It was on Benny Hinn at first of the year.
Oh, okay, great. So there's a number you want to call in order to support the Benny Hinn group. And, Youngevity exists as a network of affiliated distributors all around the world. And the people that brought Benny Hinn in did a lot of legwork to bring Benny Hinn in. And so it would be prudent for you to order the nutritional supplements through them. And let me give you their number. It's 800-691-1730. That's 800-691-1730. They'll get you the wholesale price on the supplements, and they'll also tell you how to take the supplements. They'll hold your hand and give you advice about, you take this much in the morning, this much in the evening, this much at night, so forth and so on. And we exist as a support network, very much the same way that the church does, right? Very much the same way that people go on missionary expeditions all around the world. It's to bring a message to people who don't know anything about it. Well, Dr. Wallach set longevity up as a network business to fulfill the same goal, because we're growing a grassroots coalition of the informed all around the world of people just like you and your wife who are in the weeds. Conventional medicine has nothing for them, but we do. But nobody knows what we know, and everybody needs to know what we know, and the pharmaceutical industry goes out of their way to keep us, under their heel of their boot. And so Dr. Wallach set his company up as a network business for the express purpose of growing a grassroots coalition. So the number again to call, 800-691-1730. They'll hold your hand and walk you through the process. What you should see when your wife or anybody else gets on board with a good, effective, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition program is every 7 to 14 days, something should brighten up. Mood gets better, energy gets better, appetite gets better, sleep gets better, blood work gets better, water retention gets better, kidney numbers get better, whatever. You're going to have to notice specific and measurable improvement. It's kind of like growing a flower. You see a little bit of growth, a little bit of growth, a little bit of growth like that. So, and that's how we know we're on the right track. So you want to be mindful, because this isn't specifically an eye treatment. This isn't specifically a kidney treatment. This is, a treatment for your wife. And the idea is to support her body in its ability to optimize its structure and function. And that has always and ever will be a holistic concern. So we clean up the diet, get the nutritional supplements into the body every day, keep your fingers crossed, and look for improvement. Once you get specific and measurable, noticeable change somewhere, you just ride the horse, man. You just keep on the discipline. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. And if you hit a wall, like the kidney gets better, but there's no change in the eye or whatever, and call us back, and we can help you tweak the program in order to optimize it. I'm very excited for you. I've rarely seen this methodology fail, both for kidney illness and for eye conditions. The only variable here is, how much tissue damage has already occurred, because there is a breaking point. There is a point beyond which the body can't fix it. But honest to God, before I met Dr. Wallach, I used to think I knew where that was. I have no idea where that is anymore. You wouldn't believe the things I've seen people recover from. You wouldn't believe it. So keep your fingers crossed, clean the diet up, get her on board with the nutritional supplements, and call us back if you have any questions. And God bless you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for finding us. Now go out there and get your wife's health back. Douglas, who's next?
Let's head to New York. And Gloria, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Gloria, what's going on?
I am good, thank you.
How can I help? Thanks for the call.
Oh, thank you very much for taking it. Yes, I don't know. I've been going for doctors for a number of years now. I think it's a digestive problem, because when I eat, my body seems to give off offensive odor that people say smell like rotten fish.
Is it gas? Is it gas that we're talking about, or is it just perspiration?
I don't know. It's probably like I eat and it goes down in my stomach, and then that odor gives off. And then what is happening? I heard somebody say, look, our belly's on fire. That simply means whatever odor it was giving off, it was awful.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right. So what? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I have been going to doctors. I've been taking supplements. They give me antibiotics. They run all various tests.
And they got nothing, right?
All
they
different things, and nobody seems to find out what it is, but it continues.
So if I were you, I'd ask for my money back. I would. right? I mean, if you brought your car in to the car dealer and they had a noise in the engine, and they heard the noise, and everybody heard the noise, and the noise shouldn't be there, and they did all this testing, it cost you $2,000, and they said, well, we can't help you, we have no idea what it is, you'd put up a stink about that. I mean, I would. But when the MDs do thousands of dollars of unnecessary diagnostic testing, and they come back to us empty-handed, what do? We go home and we write them another check for a medical insurance premium. We keep paying for their incompetence. For goodness sake, you want to fire your medical doctor unless you're bleeding from an artery or you have surgery that's absolutely positively necessary. For everything else, just like you, there are millions of people all around the world who they have let down, and they've let them down hard. You stick with me, New York. On the other side of the break, I'll tell you what to do. Thanks so much for the call.
We're back on Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host today, Dr. Peter Glidden. Welcome back.
Thanks a lot. All right, we're talking to Gloria in New York. Gloria, are you still with me?
Yes, I am.
All right, so there's two things that I want you to do. Number one, there are 10 foods that you need to stop eating because, right, this is a digestive issue. So we need to be kind to your digestive tract. One of the easiest ways to do that is to eliminate foods that are harmful to the digestive tract. And we have identified 10 foods that will hurt your digestive tract and then hurt you. Now, you need to trust us on this because for the last 100 years in the United States, we've let the food industry tell us what foods to eat, and we've let people like Dr. Oz, who don't have any training in medical nutrition whatsoever, tell us what foods they think are good to eat, and that's a fool's errand. So you have to trust us. This is our wheelhouse. This is our domain. We have got this dialed in. So visit my website, please, fireyourmdnow.com. Scroll down the front page until you see the link called Good Food, Bad Food. Download that list and stop eating the 10 bad foods immediately. Stop eating those 10 bad foods immediately. That's fireyourmdnow.com. Scroll down until you see the link for Good Food, Bad Food. Number one. Number two, what's your current weight, Gloria? How much do you weigh?
I'm about 150, between 150 and 155.
Okay, so what I would do in addition to that for 3 months, once a month for 3 months, I would order one healthy digestion pack, 3 bottles of selenium, that's S like Sam, E, L like Larry, E, N like Nancy, IUM, one healthy digestion pack, 3 selenium, and 1 bottle of herbal rainforest. I would only get the herbal rainforest for the first month, and I would only use the herbal rainforest for 4 weeks. After you've done 1 bottle of herbal rainforest, I don't want you to do that anymore, but I do want you to do 1 healthy digestion pack and 3 bottles of selenium once a month for 3 months, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And when you get those supplements into your body, you might be surprised at what starts coming out of your body. In any event, I think you've got a toxic backup in your body that needs a little help. I think your body needs to get rid of some crap that's been gumming up the works. And also, it would be prudent for you to visit somebody local to you who practices colonic hydrotherapy. Colonic hydrotherapy. That's C like Charlie, O, L like Larry, O, N like Nancy, I-C. C-O-L-O-N-I-C, colonic hydrotherapy. If I were you, I would go in for 3 or 4 colonic treatments. That will help a great deal. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Get on board with those nutritional supplements. And give me a call back in a couple of months and give me a report. I think you're going to love the way that you feel. Douglas, I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, let's head to Michigan. And Joe, you're on with Dr. Peter Glidden.
Hey, Joe, we've got 2 minutes. What's up?
I'll try to make it quick. There's a child about 5 years old, and he's got achondroplasia, which is short-limb dwarfism.
Yeah.
And he also had hydrocephalus, so he had a a vertebrae removed from the top of his neck due to the pressure.
Yeah.
He's got bowed legs, with the right being the worst. His arms are locked at about 90 degrees.
Yikes.
And I'm wondering if there's a protocol that will help him to get normal.
Well, there's a protocol that will help him. You know, the degree that it's able to help him is anybody's guess. The degree that it's able to help him is anybody's guess, but it can help him. I mean, even if it's 10%, what if it's 50%? What if it's 70%? Who's going to turn that down? Nobody's going to turn that down. And the sooner we intervene with children like this on, you know, on the time scale, the better it is for everybody. So the recommendation, you don't know how much he weighs, do you?
I'm going to guess 40 to 50 pounds. He's only 5 years old.
Yeah, okay. So I would give him the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, one Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, one Beyond OsteoFX liquid, one Beyond OsteoFX liquid, one bottle of EFA Plus, one bottle of Ultimate Selenium, and one bottle of Liquid Glucogel Plus. That's one Liquid Glucogel Plus, one Ultimate Selenium, one EFA Plus, one Beyond OsteoFX liquid, and one Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0.